Squatch Senior here, back with you guys for a quick update on this Super M project I got going. Fall projects are starting to finally wind down here, so had a little bit of time, got me some parts ordered, had some stuff into the different machine shops getting rebuilt and stuff. I did go down and check out my pond that I do water the garden on, and we got about 2 inches of plus of clear perfect ice down there. It's been cold here and they're predicting cold at least for the next 2 weeks. So between got some hunting seasons coming up, maybe some ice fishing stuff coming up. But in the meantime, I let other guys kind of get involved with that ice fishing stuff, and I wait a few weeks so I know the ice is safe before I go out there. Anyway, let's get into some of the stuff I've got here and probably nitpick into a little bit of the other stuff, see what machine shops did for me and stuff. So let's get going. First off, I got me, as you can see, a little pile of parts here. New drain plug from the pan. New clutch release bearing. That's a greasable type there. They do have two different types. There's one that's sealed and one that's greasable. That the one I got is greasable. It's all set up for it, so that's the route I went back again. Cam bearings, 3 different sizes. Got them wrapped up really good to protect them and stuff. Probably one of the first projects I'll get into when I get into really working on this. Got me a new expansion plug for the back of the camshaft on the block. Kind of keeps the oil from running all over. Engine rod bearing set and main bearings. When you ordered them from the outfit I ordered, they said mention in the comments section what size you did, what you need. So that's what I did. I told them I needed 10 thousandths under, and believe it or not, they sent me standard size bearings, because if you don't stipulate the size you need, they automatically send you standard size bearings. What I did find out, looking at part numbers and stuff here, as you can see in the main bearing set, the part number, which is the part number they use, is MBK264, and then after it, they got 010. Well, now that I know that, I will probably, if I order more bearings, I'll put the undersize right after the part number. That seems to help them out, and that'll help me out for hassles and stuff. Got new locks for the rods. The other ones were pretty beat up, folded over, cracked, stuff like that. Nice to have new ones on that. I did order, there's 5 of these springs in there, 2 underneath the radiator, 3 underneath the gas tank. Some are looking a little iffy, so I at least ordered 2 of them. A lot of times you can pick them up locally at the local hardware store, stuff like that. Radiator hose kit. I'm going to replace all the hoses. I had the radiator gone through. You guys have seen that in a previous video I had up. They're all cut to size. The size need just kind of makes life easier there. And we get over here. That's the sleeves piston sets. That we'll probably go through one of them boxes, open it up, and see what they look like. Here we got the rod bushings for the piston pin bushings. And over here we got the complete gasket set. Generally it looks like what they do, they send you a head set and then a lower set. So anyway, everything should be there. Seals, gaskets, everything you need for a complete engine overhaul. Okay, got some other stuff here. I'll just throw it up at a bench and we'll kind of go through it. Hopefully Squatch 253 isn't going to mind me using his space over here temporarily. I'll kind of put it back the way he had it, and he'll probably never even know it happened until he looks at this video. So let's get going. Okay, this is the hydraulic pump that comes for the live hydraulic system. It drives off of this gear, off the camshaft gears and all that stuff. And anyway, she had been leaking in the past. I don't know if you'd seen any of my videos, but distributor end definitely had been leaking oil into the distributor, causing me issues with the points and ignition systems and stuff. So took it over there, had them go completely through the thing. Thing always did have good pressure. So I wasn't real worried about it being a bad pump. Just I knew the seals were bad, but I wanted to check the shafts, the gears, clearances, stuff like that. So it looked excellent inside. So anyway, what I'm going to have to do before I install this onto the engine block is there's a fold-over lock here. I had him leave the gear off when he took this apart. So I'm going to make a new fold-over lock. Don't know if you can really see how beat up this thing is. I'm pretty sure it's been apart before in the past and never. And so it's no use reusing old locks. I like to make new ones. So anyway, I think what I'm going to get into now, we'll get the clutch pressure plate up here and I'll show you what I had done with that. Okay, here's the pressure plate. Looks pretty nice. Of course, what they do is, the guy had this right in stock, which really surprised me. Apparently they do a lot of tractor stuff up there. I knew they do a lot of stuff for the mine, stuff like that. Anyway, what they usually do is they regrind the surface here, take any imperfections out. A lot of times you'll wear the disc. I don't know, you can see back here in the lower part. You'll wear into them rivets, it'll start making grooves and stuff. There is a certain spec they go by. They got the books and stuff. That's why it's nice to take it up to them guys. Before I go put this in, I'll make sure all this is oil free, all this surface stuff like that. You don't need it slipping. Another thing they do up there, I don't know if you can see here, there's a few places where they remove these bolts. What that does is lock the fingers down and it makes it easier to install when you get into putting all your bolts onto the flywheel and stuff. So he kind of puts that on there. Said a lot of guys have put this in the past, couldn't get any clutch adjustment, didn't know what the problem was. So I said, did you take them bolts out? And they'll say no. So he does at least mark it, which is kind of nice. You know, it's kind of a thing I was familiar with, but a lot of guys aren't. Here's the disc I sent up. They completely relined that for me. Looks pretty nice. I mean, they do a real professional job up there, and it's not near the price of buying one off the parts store. So, real good job. I'm impressed with that. Here's the flywheel I had ground. There is a few heat cracks. They said this is a pretty low RPM engine. They said this probably should be no problem at all in there with that. Quite common on these M's to have it. It's getting almost impossible to find a good flywheel, I say, anymore. So far they've been having good luck with it. When they resurface this area down in here, they also got to resurface this area here. There's a spec on this depth from here to here that they got to keep adhered to, so that when your clutch disc and everything is in there, it's back to spec. They can only go so deep on these before they have to replace the flywheel. But anyway, he said I should have no problem with this flywheel, and I'm pretty impressed with the pressure plate and the disc. They did a really fine job for me. Okay, last of the parts I'm going to go through. This is the sleeve set, 4 1/8 inch bore. It's what they call the overbore set. So anyway, let's get into opening this up and see what everything looks like and see what all they send in it. Okay, must be the rings. Let's see what they look like. Okay, it looks like the top ring. Looks like it's a chromed ring. The other two are cast iron. You can see your oil control ring. And then what they got there too is, I think it's kind of hard to see in the package. I don't want to unwrap them right now. So anyway, there's 2 spacers that go on each side of this ring. So anyway, yeah, that's looking good. Get in and see what we got in here. Okay, it looks like a protector sleeve, kind of keeps things from bouncing around that's in there. There's something rattling around in there. Probably a piston pin, I'm thinking. Okay, there's the sleeve. There's the pin. Got it all wrapped up nice to keep it from rusting up on you. And the piston's in here. Slide that out. So here we go. It's marked on top. You can see front, so you can't get these mixed up. Looking good. New clips to hold the pin in place. Looking good. And this is what a sleeve looks like. It's all ready to push in. There's this gasket seal that goes here, seals it in. You can actually see there's not much thickness in this thing. Original bore on an M is 4-inch. They what they call an overbore now. They go to 4 1/8 inch. That was in there before, and that's what we're going to put back in there again. Hopefully it works better than it did last time. So anyway, that's the rundown on the parts. And one other item to go through. Okay, let's kind of go through the engine block here. One of the nice days, the last nice days that I had, I went through, I took the wire brush on a 4.5 inch angle grinder. I buffed this whole thing down, cleaned her up, give her one last pressure washing. So everything should be clean enough to start putting it together. I got parts now, so there's no excuse for me other than my recreational stuff I got going on that I can't start getting something done. One of my first projects I'll probably do, as you can see back here, that's where the expansion plug goes for the cam. I'll get that out of there. I'll slide the old bearings out, get the new ones in. Probably start installing sleeves. I can probably flip it over or get into pistons, rods, get the crankshaft put in, get that all checked out for clearances and stuff. So anyway, guys, kind of a quick update of what's been going on around here lately. And now that the weather's turning colder, outside projects are coming to an end, and indoor stuff's going to start happening. So stay tuned.